Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel, and today we are going to solving a very clean array problem. So basically we need to rearrange the array so that we get the alternation of positive and negative numbers, right? So now let's see the intuition how we can solve this. So basically we have this array nums, right? And the first thing that we are going to do is to that we're going to create another array that is a result array, and the size of this result array is going to be the same what the size of this nums is. Alright, and why we are making this array? Because we want to place element at specific positions. We want to place this positive number at this positive even index. We want to place this negative number at odd index. Means we're gonna get the positive number, and then their adjacent number is gonna be the negative one, and then we're gonna get again the positive, and their adjacent is gonna be the negative, and this is how we're going to maintain the alternation of positive and negative numbers, right? So that's why we're gonna make another array, and that's gonna be our result array, right? And now here's the key idea that we're going to be actually used to in order to solve this problem. We're going to use two pointer approach, right? So one pointer, I'm going to take this. So one pointer, that is going to be our positive pointer, going to start from index 0. So I'm going to put this over here, right? And we have another index which is going to be our negative pointer, which is going to be start from index 1, right? And so basically we are going to do like even indexes will store the positive, and the odd indexes will store the negative, right? And now what we're going to do, we're going to traverse this array so that we're going to get the continuous flow of numbers. Okay, so now we're going to traverse this. And now what actually we're going to do, now listen carefully, what I'm going to do is that if this number or whatever the number is positive, right? So we place it at the current positive index and move that pointer by 2, right? And if, let's suppose, if that number is negative, so we place it at the current negative index and move that pointer by 2. That's what the flow is, and that's what gonna be that's what we are going to do, right? So now let's do this. So basically right now our I pointer is pointed to a number which is a positive one. So what we're going to do, we're going to put this number at the positive index, right? So we're going to replace this, we're going to replace this 0, and we're going to put here 3. Okay, because this is a positive number, and after putting this we're going to move our positive pointer 2 step forward, like 1, and this is going to be our 2, right? And then we're going to move our the I pointer 1 step forward, and then we're going to be checking again we get the positive number. Then what we're going to do, we're going to put this negative number at positive index. So I'm going to put this, I'm going to replace the 0, I'm going to put here 1, right? And then after putting this, what we're going to do, we're going to move our positive pointer 2 step forward, right? So let's select this, and then we're going to put this 2 step forward. So 1, and that's going to be the 2, right? And after this we're going to move our I pointer 1 step forward, and then again we're going to be checking. And now this is the point that here our I pointer is pointing to a number, and that number is a -1. So if it is a -1, then what we're going to do, we're going to put this number at negative index. So we're going to replace the 0, and we're going to put here negative number, that's going to be the -2. I'm going to put in here minus 2. And after putting this, what we're going to do, we're going to move our negative pointer to step forward. So that's going to be like 1, and here we're going to get the 2, right? And after doing this, we're going to move our pointer one step forward again. And now we again get the negative number. Again we're gonna put here at negative possession. I'm gonna put in here minus 5 because it's gonna be the negative one. So here it's gonna be minus 5. And after putting this, what we're going to do, we're going to move this negative pointer 2 step forward. So I'm gonna put in over here. Okay, now let's move our eye pointer again one step ahead. Now again we get the positive number. So if we're gonna get the positive number, so we're going to put this number at positive index. So I'm gonna putting over here 2, and then after putting this, we know that we're gonna have to move our positive pointer 2 step forward, right? So let's select this, and I'm gonna move this. It's gonna go out of this array, right? And then again we're going to move our pointer one step forward, and we're going to be checking again negative number. We get a negative number, so we're going to put this at negative position. So we're going to put over here minus 4, and after putting this, we're going to move our negative pointer to step forward. So that's going to be like something like this. Okay, so if you're gonna see we get the alternation of this negative positive numbers, right? If you're gonna see like 3 is positive 3, then minus 2, then 1, then minus 5, then 2, then minus 4. So actually we have already maintained the alternation of negative and positive numbers, right? So this is how we're gonna be solving. Okay, now let's see the coding part. Okay, so basically, first of all, we need to calculate the length of this num. So I'm going to store it in n variable where I'm going to calculate the length of this num. So I'm going to do like this. Yeah. And we know that we want an array, right? Result array, and whose length is going to be the same what the length of nums is. So we're going to make a result equals to, we're going to store initially 0 inside this and make their length equals to the length of this num. So that I'm going to write over here n, right? And we know that we want to pointer. Our first pointer is going to be the positive pointer, so I'm going to write here positive index. Okay, which is going to be start from 0. So I'm going to write over here 0. And then we want a negative pointer, so I'm going to name them negative index, which is going to be start from first index, right? And now let's start moving our I pointers. So for that we're going to apply a for loop. So for I in range len of, for I in range n, right? Yeah. And now we're going to check that whether that number is positive or negative. So for that we're going to put some conditions. So first of all, we're going to check that that number is positive. So for that I'm going to write here nums of I. If nums of I is greater than 0, means that number is positive, right? So if it is positive number, so we know that we're going to insert at positive index. So I'm going to write over here result of pos index, and we're gonna put this we're gonna put this number, so nums of I. And then we know that we need to increment our positive index by 2, right? So for that we're going to write pos index plus equals to 2, right? And in else condition, so in else condition we get a negative number. So if we get a negative number, we're going to put at negative position or negative index, right? So result of negative index, Okay, we're gonna put this number, which is going to be nums of I, and then we know that we need to increment our negative index by 2, right? So I'm going to write over here negative plus equals to 2, right? And at the end we're going to return our, okay, it's gonna be return our result, right? So this is how we're gonna do this. And now let's run this. um okay, so I just put here negative, it's gonna be negative underscore index, right? And now let's run this again. Accepted, yeah. And now let's submit this. So basically the time complexity of this algorithm is going to be big O of n, because we just traverse once, and also the space complexity is going to be big O of n because we use an extra space, right? So here it is submitted also, right? So keep doing, keep building, and I will see you in the next problem. That's it.